Shadow of the podium. There comes a moment after the saws go silent and the chips are swept away, when you stand and look at your carving and wonder. You wonder how something you poured your heart into, something that, in your eyes, was head and shoulders above the rest, didn't even make it to the podium. And worse still, for the judges, the piece you personally thought would win, the carving that you were sure would take it all, sometimes it doesn't even make it to the podium. And in that moment, some carvers begin to doubt themselves, letting it boil up as a retaliation by the ego. Both are natural, both are human, but neither will carry you forward. Because sometimes the only lesson to take away is that there is no lesson to take away. Sometimes the piece that should have stood tallest never sees the podium. And that's because in competition, there is only one ruler above all. The criteria, the cold, immovable framework that every judge is bound to. It does not bend to passion. It does not bow to opinion. It does not yield to crowd applause. Under that system, every piece will either rise or it will fall. So the question becomes, why compete at all? If the best in your eyes doesn't always win, then what keeps us stepping into the arena? The answer is older than chainsaws, older than dirt, older than the very arenas themselves. Men and women have competed since the beginning. Think back to the ancient Greeks, where athletes stripped down to test themselves in the Olympic Games, running, wrestling, throwing, not for wealth, but for the honor of being called the best beneath the gaze of their gods. Think of the Romans who built colossal arenas where contests of strength, speed, and endurance became public spectacle. Go even further back, past empire, past civilization, to the tribes gathered around the firelight, pitting strength against strength, wit against wit, skill against skill. Competition is older than recorded time. It is stitched into the fabric of who we are. And so, even here, with sawdust in our beards and the sound of chainsaws in our ears, we are not apart from that tradition. We are a continuation of it. We step forward, chainsaws in hand, because something deep inside of us calls us to measure ourselves against the best, to stand shoulder to shoulder with others who dare to put their style and vision on the line. Competition is not for the faint of heart. It is not a safe place for thin skin. It is a battlefield of emotions. The highs are euphoric. You land a top score and the applause linger. Your heart feels unstoppable. The lows, they are crushing. You fall short. You see your name slip down the rankings, and doubt gnaws at your gut. And this is where the path splits. Some carvers turn the disappointment inward, doubting themselves, questioning everything they've built. Others turn it outward, lashing in anger, blaming the judges, the system, even the competitors. Doubt and anger. They feel powerful in the moment, but they're dead ends. They don't sharpen you. They don't grow you. They rob you. Because if you stay in this game long enough, you'll learn that the podium isn't the only prize. Some carvers find the sweetest satisfaction not in medals, but in the auction, when the bidding begins and your piece soars higher than the ones that wore ribbons. You realize something vital. The podium is not the whole world. A collector's grin, a nod from a fellow carver, or the way a child's eyes light up when they see your work. They can be a win all in its own. Ego will get you into the arena, but humility will keep you there. Ego is the spark. It's what dares you to step forward. It's what whispers, I can do this. I belong here. Without it, you'd never sign up. But if ego is the fire, humility is the forge. It tempers you. It reminds you that one competition doesn't define a career. That one score sheet doesn't erase your ability or your voice. And yet, even with all the rivalry, all the pressure, all the heartbreak, there is something else. Something magical. We carvers admire each other. We have a bond that runs deeper than ribbons or medals. We laugh together, we learn together, we share stories in the sawdust and late-night bonfires. The best moments aren't always on the podium. They're when we're side by side, carving and sharing and watching each other grow. Competition brings us together. It creates an atmosphere, a synergy, that crackles with life. In those moments, we are family. Because competition tests more than your ability. It tests your character. It asks, can you handle defeat with grace? Can you cheer for the man who just beat you? Can you wear humility like armor, even when your heart is breaking? Good sportsmanship and humility are necessary. They go hand in hand. The ribbons fade. The applause fades. Even the carving themselves will one day rot back into the earth. But your character, that is what echoes. That is what people remember. And those who carry themselves with humility and good sportsmanship always be invited back into the arena. Because stepping into the arena is in itself a victory. Because in the sawdust, under that pressure, in front of those eyes, you find out who you really are. And that, my friends, is a prize no judge can take away.